Impact.
New talents, experts, and professionals in different fields.
Different topics that contribute knowledge to society.
And what's going on here in the Sultanate.
It's Impact. Hosted by Dr Al
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 p.m.
It's all here every week on the Nation Station.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Impact, a weekly edutainment and knowledge sharing program aired live specifically to share with you topics that contribute knowledge to the society. Every week, Impact hosts and invites guests that are expert, professional, and leaders from the field that bring well-thought knowledge to you. Impact also highlights and promotes talent in the country that contribute knowledge and success to the nation. This program, ladies and gentlemen, is a weekly session that I will have with you every Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'm your host, Dr Al Bulushi, along with our studio engineer, DJ Saleh, for an hour bringing you free knowledge at your doorsteps on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Okay, stay tuned after this music break for today's interesting topic and today very, 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 very interesting personality.
Impact.
New talents, experts, and professionals in different fields.
Different topics that contribute knowledge to society.
And what's going on here in the Sultanate.
It's Impact. Hosted by Dr Al
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 p.m.
It's all here every week on the Nation Station.
Welcome back to Impact, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dr Al Bulushi, along with our studio engineer, DJ Saleh, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. What would it take to be a successful dean of a college? Well, my guest today here on Oman Radio FM 90.4 is the first Omani Female Dean in the Sultanate, Dr Yasmeen Al Bulushi, an educationalist who is passionate about making change in people's life through education. Now the question is, who is Dr Yasmeen Al Bulushi? Dr. Yasmeen Al Bulushi is the Dean of Muscat College, previously the Assistant Dean for Academic Support and Student Affairs in the College of Banking and Financial Studies here in Oman. Dr. Yasmeen got her PhD from Leeds University from the United Kingdom. Over the past 20 years, she has been teaching and researching different aspects of language teaching and learning. Now, besides her responsibility as a senior management at CBFS, Dr. Yasmeen has been involved in different trainings including women leadership, communication skills, work-life balance, stress management, and emotional intelligence. MashaAllah. Dr. Yasmeen is a certified EQ trainer, a coach, and assessor by 6 Seconds. MashaAllah. Dr. Yasmeen also serves in a number of institution boards of trustees here in Oman. And I am very, very happy today to have Dr. Yasmeen with us here today, here at Oman Radio FM 90.4, live to share about the successful journey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Yasmeen, how are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tariq, thank you so much for the invitation and the nice and beautiful introduction.
In fact, Dr. Yasmeen, let me say honestly one thing. First, I would like to thank you for accepting to come to the Oman Radio FM 90.4 today during your busy schedule to come and share knowledge. But before I start talking, whatever I shared, by the way, is very, very small of what you are. Because if I wanted to speak about you, I might take up the whole program or might end up writing a book. Because I can tell you one thing. I follow and have been following. I'm one of your very, very fans, by the way, Dr. Yasmeen, because I follow the things that you have been doing. I follow the lovely posts that you have and the words that you share and the contribution you do in education and in the society. And let me tell you one thing. If there is one word I'm going to say is I am in love in everything you do. Not
so
only
much.
that you are a very beautiful person, you have a beautiful heart that you're supporting people to and you're impacting the society in a positive way. So thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you so much, Tariq. Thank you.
And another thing is, it would be very unfair for me not to speak about the huge number of people that when I posted about you on the social media that you are going to be my guest have been sending their regards and thank and appreciation
So sweet.
that you are going to be the guest today. So mashallah, you have a lot
Thank
of
you
love
so
out
much,
there.
yeah.
May
Thank
Allah
you.
bless you
Thank you,
daiman,
sir.
inshallah. How does it feel to be the first Omani female dean in the private colleges, Dr. Yasmeen?
Challenging, very challenging.
Okay.
It's nice to be the first dean in the private college, and I'll take the opportunity to acknowledge actually two women, distinguished women, who have been dean in the governmental sector.
Okay, mashallah.
Dr. Thwaib Al Barwani, who is also an idol for me. She was my teacher. She was the first dean in the education college at SQU, and Dr. Huda Al Maskari in technical college. I think I just needed to acknowledge that because they've been there.
Okay.
The difference was the big challenge that the private sector puts on a person to become a dean.
Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. Another thing that I like about you is, although you have done this great achievement and a lot of people are speaking about it, but say, no, Tariq, please don't say that I'm the first one. Okay, there are other people who have been there in the government sector, although I've said that you are in the private colleges, but you're very humble.
Thank you so
Not
much.
only you responded to my
They needed
tweet.
that acknowledgement.
Not only you responded in my Twitter, because when I saw that you responded to me, I said, I think this is a very unique lady. This is a leader. This is someone that everybody will look up very much. Why? Because she's humble and she's focused at doing great things. And by the way, you are with CBFS before you are with Muscat College.
Yes.
And a lot of people speak very high about it. So when you are a dean, it was not a surprise. People expected it. And one thing that I'm going to tell you now, everything is written by Allah. My expectation, you will go even bigger than that. I don't think you
Thank you
have
so
stopped
much.
there. You will go bigger than that. You'll be looking after the
Inshallah.
whole education,
Inshallah.
inshallah. Now, today it's about knowing Dr. Yasmeen. How did she achieve this? Okay, everyone would like to learn about it. We want to have more Dr. Yasmeen in Oman and more people to learn, more female. First, in your opinion, do you see more female taking up this role, or you see, nah, it's not easy or it's not difficult? What is your humble opinion?
Not honestly, I can see more females coming into the educational sector, higher education sector, and I think in the coming few years we will witness a lot of female leaders coming to the
Inshallah.
picture, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I was at a symposium today.
Okay.
And there were a couple of assistant deans who are female now, which was very surprising. I met some of them for the first time today.
Mashallah.
And it was really, really beautiful to see that more female leaders coming to the picture. And I'll tell you, Tariq, it's not easy to be recognized and to be given that position when you are a female, because there will be always those questions, there will be always those speculations in the community, there will be always that questioning, can she handle it?
Okay.
So it's a challenge always, and for these female ladies to come to that stand, that mean in the near future we will witness a lot of ladies in the higher education.
For you, was it on your mind? Talk about many years ago. Let's say 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Was it on your mind that tomorrow I will become a dean, or was it no? It just happened.
Honestly, I never thought about it.
Okay.
However, in the recent years, I've been blessed that I've been working with two very beautiful leaders,
Okay.
Dr. Ashraf Al-Nabhani and Dr. Ahmed Al-Ghassani,
Mashallah, mashallah.
who have been training me all the time and have been emphasizing that we are making you ready to become a dean.
Mashallah.
So maybe I was not planning, but during the recent years, I have been encountering this again and again. I have been hearing this again and again. So kind of they gave me the confidence that you can become a dean.
Okay.
And it wasn't planned, but kind of it started getting into my system that I'm ready now.
You're ready now. MashaAllah, I can tell you one thing, by the way, in a number of events that I've seen and a number of posts that I've looked, when I look at you, I can say, this lady, not only going to be Dean, going to be bigger than that. May Allah bless you, inshallah, Diamond, you and your family.
Thank you so much for your praise.
Now, for every success story, there is a background. Every nice book, there is a beginning. Every great personality like yourself and a great leader has a story behind it. Can you please tell us your story? How did it all start? I want to know from your childhood, that how did it start, the things that you've liked, the thoughts that you've been, the people that you are, education that you've passed through. So tell me as a story, how did it all start till it come today to become the first Omani female in the private colleges here for Sultanate?
Well, one thing that I need to tell you about myself, most of the things that happened in my life, they were not planned.
Okay.
So to start with, where I started with education, it was when I graduated from secondary school in 1993.
Okay.
And I was very good at drawing.
Okay.
And I thought that I will be an architect.
Okay.
So I opted for engineering college to become an architect.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that particular year, 1993, the Sultan Qaboos University was the only higher education institution there. And they decided that no female in engineering college for that particular year for the couple of years. So they asked me to make another choice. I was very fond of languages, so I opted for language teaching. And here how I landed in the education college. And the training that I have taken for 4 years. This is why I needed to acknowledge Dr. Thuwaib Al Barwani. She was one of my teachers, one of the influencers from that time, where she made it fall in love with something called education and become passionate about it. When I graduated, I got appointed in a school, in a preparatory school, and there was a law at that point of time that any new graduate, they have to serve the evening classes, which we call it Mahwa al-Ummiyya, evening classes, and it's compulsory that they teach it. Of course, I felt that it was a punishment. You have to do your duty in the morning, and then you have to teach those adults in the afternoon. So the whole day you've been working, teaching. But you know what? You saw it as difficulty at the beginning or disadvantage turned out to be an advantage, because at the end of the year, I could observe that I connect better with adults who come motivated. They are old, but they are very passionate to complete their education. So they come with purpose. It's not like we are in school, we have to do it. They come with purpose. And that was a turning point in the whole scenario where I told my family, I think I connect with adults better. Let me look at an opportunity where I can work with students who are adults. And I started looking for part-time job. And that was my first encounter with the Institute of Bankers, who have been, they have been searching for an English teacher. I was young. It was a very tough competition, but I was lucky that I got part-time job there. So I was teaching in the schools for 3 years, but I was also working with them. And then I end up joining them as a full-time after 3 years.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So it was not planned. You had a different interest, which was architect. You started doing, you entered into doing language learning. And you also worked hard though, because you are doing part-time jobs. So you're not just sitting.
No, not really.
So that's something distinguished, by the way, Dr. Yasmeen, is because people, when they have a job, they just go to the job, go back at home and do any other activity, but you were doing extra activity.
A lot extra. Because I had to make sure that I can connect with those learners who are really very difficult, bankers, especially at that point of time, who are very passionate, at the same time motivated, but very demanding.
MashaAllah.
So I had to be very careful also how I plan my lessons, how I do teaching in those 4 hours, which are extra in the evening. But I wanted to just explore the world higher education at that point of time to see that whether I'm ready or not.
Okay, mashallah. Yeah. So definitely hard work did play a role, and you would recommend that people to work hard in order to be successful.
Definitely.
Very, very powerful message, ladies and gentlemen, from Dr. Yasmeen, and she is the Dean of Muscat College and is indeed the first Omani female in the private college. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and revert back to our exciting and interesting discussion and learning from Dr. Yasmeen.
Impact. New talents, experts, and professionals in different fields.
Different topics that contribute knowledge to society.
And what's going on here in the Sultanate.
It's Impact, hosted by Dr. Al Bulushi.
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 p.m.
It's all here every week on the Nation Station.
Welcome back to Impact, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Hilal Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Saleh, with you here today live on Oman Radio FM 90.4. My guest today here, ladies and gentlemen, on Oman Radio FM 90.4 is a very, very winning personality and is the first Omani female dean in the private colleges, Dr. Yasmeen Al Bulushi, an educationalist who is passionate about making change in people's life through education. Before the break, we've learned about Dr. Yasmeen's background in a very, very little in a very summarized way, but there is one very interesting point. The question is, how would Dr. Yasmeen take up her education, and then things were not as planned. However, she has focused at working very, very hard and also doing the extras, which has led her to where she is today. But again, during the break, I got a very, very nice insight and nice learning. And you know what I said? This has to go on air. Why? Because if we are trying to build more female leaders as well, we need to learn from a successful female leader, which is Dr. Yasmeen, on how she has done it for others to know. Dr. Yasmeen, so talking about your working hours and how you have been doing and working on the you've been doing part-time activities. Could you please tell us more about it?
Right. Well, actually, I was working in the morning, and I used to finish my job at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I needed to be in the other institute at 3 o'clock, which means I have to leave the house at 2 o'clock.
Wow.
And join Institute of Bankers. Mm-hmm. And my courses used to run from 4 to 8:30, so I had to teach the bankers till night.
Okay.
And finish at 9 o'clock and get back home. So actually, but that intense training gave me a lot of skill.
Okay.
To be patient, to manage my time, to think positively,
okay.
and put my energy, because I was passionate to really make that difference.
Yeah.
I was lucky that in 2000 I was among the first 5 people who were nominated for the first master at SQU.
MashaAllah.
And when the Minister of Education gave me the chance to take the master program for 2 years, I did not stop teaching in the Institute of Bankers. So I was attending my lectures in the morning, doing my research in the afternoon, and starting my job in the evening from 4 to 8:30 again for another 2 long years till
Okay.
2002,
Okay.
where the Central Bank of Oman at that point of time said, "Would like you to join us," and they transferred my services from Ministry of Education to the College of Banking at that time.
Okay.
And in 2004 it got transferred to College of Banking.
MashaAllah.
So you need to put extra. You need to put a lot of hard work.
Okay.
And I always get this question that you are a woman and you are a mother and you have kids. How you are able to do all this? If you really believe in it, you'll be able to do it. That doesn't mean that you will be taking aside your role as a mother or a housewife also, and having a partner. It all depends on how much you are putting as a hard work and commitment in both the relation at work and your personal relation, and how you are managing these two together.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Ladies and gentlemen, here is an example. It's no surprise at all, and it's not something that is done out of magic. Dr. Yasmeen has not only been working like many or most people would do, 8 to 2, or some people from the companies from your 8 to 5 and then goes back to home. No, she's been working and then putting the extra hours. And not only pushing the extra hours, taking additional education. So putting additional education, working the extra hours, probably sleepless nights. And then guess what? That's why she has become a dean, mashallah, today, the first female dean. And I can tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, you can do it as well, because this is what she has done. Others can do it as well, and can do great as well, as long as you put the hard work and you keep on studying and working hard. Dr. Yasmeen is an example of success, mashallah. And Dr. Yasmeen, I also do, and I'm very aware that you are not only currently the Dean of Muscat, but you are also serving in a number of boards here in Oman.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I am on the board of trustee for Muscat University.
MashaAllah.
And I am a reviewer for Oman Academic Accreditation Authority.
Okay.
I am also a reviewer, an external reviewer for Ministry of Higher Education for programs.
Okay.
So with OAAA, that is Oman Accreditation Council, I am reviewer for Institute.
Okay.
With the Ministry of Higher Education, I'm a reviewer for programs.
Okay.
And also I am on the executive board for Oman Network in Higher Education, Oman Quality Network in Higher Education, which is trying to promote quality in higher education through various activities. So I am also on the executive board member trying to promote that as well.
MashaAllah. And you're a mother as well.
I am a mother.
MashaAllah.
I'm a mother of 2 kids.
Beautiful kids. May Allah bless them, Ya Rabbil Alameen.
Thank you so much. A beautiful daughter who is studying abroad now.
MashaAllah,
So a big
MashaAllah.
hi to her if she's listening to this.
MashaAllah.
Very proud of her. And a son.
MashaAllah.
So also playing the role of the mother as well, beside all these other duties as a professional woman.
MashaAllah, this is a great example. Apart from being a mother, and not from small kids, growing kids who are, mashallah, doing very, very well, you also are working. You're the top leader in the organization as well, in the academic organization as well, and you are part of a board of a number of initiatives. And I see your contribution in the society. All that, and how many time do you have so far? Do you still have more time as well?
Yes, there are times where I say, what shall I do?
That's why I said, when I asked you, yes, I do have time.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Being in education teach you something, that the more educated you become,
Yeah.
the more aware you become that you don't know.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
And I am a trainer, and I do a lot of training. I still continue doing training. In fact, I did a training for executive education in Bank Muscat last week.
Okay, MashaAllah.
For leadership.
Yeah.
And there were 20 branch managers, because I was doing branch manager certification.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised how rewarding education can become. Out of those 20, I had 3 students whom I taught 1997. And they said, Doctor, you taught us when we were clerk at that time. Yeah. We are branch managers now. And that is a wonderful reward.
Yeah, of
when
course.
you find your
feeling.
students reaching the very good high in their career and their personal life, that itself is rewarding.
Yeah. I like, and sorry, I used the wrong word. I think I love your purpose in life, Dr. Yasmeen, and that is you have the passion in education and impacting change in people, and that is remarkable more than anything. Before you go and sleep at night, you know that you have impacted a lot of people. And this example that you're telling me about the people who are you've taught them in Bank Muscat right now, and they're coming back to you and telling you have taught us many years ago, and today we are branch managers. That is very, very great, because you are building and creating more leaders. Now, you have left the CBFS. You were assistant dean.
Right. Yeah.
I believe that was the time when you have decided not to continue working. I mean, staying at home with the family. Is it right?
CBFS is a beautiful place.
Okay.
I still feel that is my first love. That is home. I'm very attached to it, because that was the turning point in my life. And for the past 18 years, I've been with them. And there was a very big connection, because I felt that I started with those leaders to build the place from the scratch. So I feel that I have my input there. I feel that that was the place that where I grew. a lot of people get confused that I left CBFS for another job. In fact, there was a point in life where I thought that this is a time to retire. And actually, I had my own plans. I initiated a private company, actually, which I still have it. And I thought I will be ready only to do, to become an SME, let's say, and venture the private sector and the business as well. And I have an event management company at the moment. And I thought I will be just free to do training and make more impact through training. Especially, I'm very passionate about teaching people and learning through that teaching process. So I thought I will continue with my training instead of that. However, things, as I said, were not planned. And then the opportunity came from Muscat College to join them as a dean, where I thought, okay, education is calling again. I cannot resist. So I jumped in and joined the team there. And they are a fabulous team working there very hard.
Mashallah, because they're lucky to have you as well. It's simple as that. Let me tell you that. I'm telling you, you're very humble. I've sat with you in a few moments, and I can tell that. But this is of greatest rewards, because nothing beats sharing knowledge, because that is sadaqah as well. So the blessing that you get at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you 10 times in this world. So why not even jump to it? How do you find your role from being an assistant dean in CBFS compared to being now a dean in Muscat College?
Right. As an assistant dean, I was blessed that, as I said before, I was working with true leaders around me who have been coaching, monitoring, guiding a lot. So the maximum decisions to be taken were on the dean. So I had the person where I can consult, I can refer to take the final decision. So, like you don't have the full responsibility, let's say, that you are taking decision. A lot of people ask me always, what is the hardest thing about leadership? And I always tell them that taking decision is the most difficult part of a leadership. So now becoming a dean yourself, it's totally different, because now you jump to that chair where you have to make decisions. And there is no other person to refer to. Definitely we have a board. Definitely we have other people who you can consult. However, the daily operation is solely your responsibility. So you are the CEO of that entity, and the way you are going to plan and guide where you are heading, it depends on your actions and decisions that you are taking, and the plan you are putting for the place. So it's your full responsibility.
You're the captain of the ship.
You're the captain of the ship. Exactly.
What is your immediate transformation plan for Muscat College?
Well, I wouldn't say that a full transformation. I don't believe in immediate change. I always believe that I should take my time. I'm new person to that entity. It's a new organization. I have to take my time to study the place, to study the people, to study the way they were operating, respect their 20 years of being in the market now, and the history that they had made so far. So I feel that it will take me some time to understand the culture of the organization I'm working with to make that first change I need.
MashaAllah. Very exciting discussion, ladies and gentlemen, with Dr Yasmeen Al Bulushi, the first female Omani female in the private colleges who is making the rounds and the talk of town in Oman. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and revert back to exciting discussion today.
Oman 90.4.
Impact. New talents, experts, and professionals in different fields.
Different topics that contribute knowledge to society.
And what's going on here in the Sultanate.
It's Impact, hosted by Tariq Al-Warwani.
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 p.m.
It's all here every week on the Nation Station.
Welcome back to Impact, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Al Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Saleh, with you here today live on Oman Radio FM 90.4. My guest today here on Oman Radio FM 90.4 is the first Omani female dean in the private colleges, Dr Yasmeen Al Bulushi, an educationalist who is passionate about making change in people's life through education. Dr. Yasmeen Al Bulushi is the Dean of Muscat College, previously the Assistant Dean for Academic Support and Students Affairs in the College of Banking and Financial Studies here in Oman. What I love about Dr. Yasmeen is that whatever she's been sharing from her mouth is words of wisdom, and whatever she has been talking is about the facts of how she was able to move from just being a simple teacher and a student once upon a time to all the way to becoming a dean of Muscat College. Ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you one thing? The sky is not the limit for Dr. Yasmeen. In fact, it's the beginning. MashaAllah. Dr. Yasmeen, tell me one thing. What are the challenges that you foresee in terms of the education here in Oman, and how do you plan, or how do you see us or the country tackling these issues?
Right. One of the major thing I think I could see it as a challenge. There is a lot of debate about the quality of education in higher education in Oman, and the graduates having the right skills for the market, for the job market. Are we producing the graduate with the right skills that they needed to perform in an independent way when they join the workforce? So I think that is the biggest challenge. How I can see the education sector handling that? Well, there are so many wonderful things happening around. OAAA, Oman Accreditation Council, Academic Accreditation Council, and Council Board being formed. That in itself is a way where they can ensure that the standards are met in every organization before they accredit them, which I feel that this is a very good move to put to focus a little bit how quality is tackled in institutions that are providing education to our kids in the colleges.
Inshallah. Yes, if you were to give an example or your thoughts, this is very much Dr. Yasmeen's thoughts on education yesterday, education today, and where do you see the education going tomorrow? What would you say?
Definitely. I will compare it like my generation, my kids' generation, the future generation. So in my generation, the education was the traditional education. The steps were very skeptical. People were not very open to higher education. A lot of families had a lot of resistance, especially for the female to join the university. I am one of the example in front of you where I had a lot of resistance from my parents. Not my parent, but my father in particular. However, that changed later on.
He's very proud of you now, I'm sure, dad and parents.
Well, I have been asked a question once when I was giving a farewell party for CBFS. What is the most expensive gift that you have received? And I told them a frame, and they looked at me. A frame? I said, yes. When I came from PhD and I was unpacking my luggage, I showed my father that picture of me holding the PhD, and he disappeared for half an hour, and he went actually to frame and brought it, and surprisingly he put it in men's majlis, not the women's majlis.
MashaAllah.
Because we had a disagreement regarding me joining the college when I graduated from secondary school. So as if he was giving me a signal there saying that I'm proud of you, you made it. So that was my generation. This generation are very lucky. There are a lot of higher education opportunities in Oman. Education is developing a lot. Languages, technology coming into the picture. How I see the coming generation in terms of education, more emphasis on technology, industry, keeping the kids ready for the evolving industry around the world, and critical thinking. A lot of critical thinking, a lot of problem solving, which are emerging on daily basis. The kind of problems we face at that point of time are totally different. We needed another tool. These kids need another tool to survive in the future. So just being aware of that as an educational person, what you are providing through education or higher education is very important.
MashaAllah. Being aware, I think, is the key, and thinking of way to tackle it, of course. Now, you are involved in many activities such as Board of Trustees, Speaker, etc. Now, also, you are a woman, a mother, a successful leader. The question is, how do you manage your lifestyle?
Well, I try my level best not to follow the balance.
Okay.
I believe that each stage of my life, there was imbalance for a purpose. So I follow that imbalance and tried out of that imbalance to make a way where everything works at the same time. When I was studying, I needed to understand that there is a time more to do the study. When I was a mother, there was more time to also look at the for kids. When I become somebody who is working, another thing came into the picture. It just how you do not ignore one part of that entity of you being a mother and a working woman, and how you can make sure that you are committed. When you are at work, you are committed. When you are at home, you are totally committed. So for me, weekends, for instance, totally family. I try my level best to devote it totally to the family, because I understand the 5 days during the week, maybe there is minimum time that I can sit with them. There is minimum time where I can interact with them. Though I try my level best at least, or you can create, Tariq, your own rules at home. For instance, I insist on having dinner together. No matter how busy we are all, we have to sit together. So sometimes you bring certain rules where you can balance all those commitments together. So I think it's up to the individual saying that, okay, I don't want my life to be in chaos. Let me bring some balance to it. Where and how I do it, depending, because what suits me might not suit you, Tariq, or it might not suit another person. But it's just being aware that, oh, am I doing it in the right way? Which part of my life I'm not paying attention? And then what shall I do? Do I have a choice? Let me make an effort to put that choice into action.
MashaAllah. Now, the goal here of this program today, apart from learning from you, Dr. Yasmeen, about your personality, your journey, and how do you make it, which you have shared it very, very well, MashaAllah, may Allah bless you, is to also build up more female leaders in the country. What would it take for any female to climb up the ladder successfully until to become a leader of an organization, a CEO, a general manager, or a dean? In your advice, what are the general advice you would say, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do in order to be successful?
I would say commitment, and a lot of hard work. They shouldn't take it for granted that I cannot do it because I'm a woman. I cannot be a partner like my brother man doing the same job. First of all, let me tell you, Tariq, all these years, I never thought I am a woman and there is a man. I always thought about it. This is a role. I have to do it in this way, do this particular commitment, and to compete with myself at every stage, not to compete with others, whether it is a man or a woman. So how can I compete with myself to make myself a better person at each stage in life? So I guess it's more of commitment and hard work, and women shouldn't feel that we cannot do it because we are women. There is nothing called that we are women, this is why we cannot do it. There will be some obstacles, there will be a lot of challenges. It's how the way you are dealing with them for people to forget you are a woman and concentrate on what you are doing and appreciate it and say, well, you know, she can do this work and she is capable. So at certain point, they start looking at your capability, looking at your skill, looking at your competencies, and believe me, they totally forget your gender.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Very wise words and very great tips from Dr. Yasmeen Al Bulushi herself, the first Omani female dean in the private colleges and the dean of Muscat College. Dr. Yasmeen, every successful person or every person normally have a role model. For myself, if I'm giving an example of a role model, that would be in general life, would be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If it comes to about computing and IT, that will be Bill Gates and Steve Jobs for the innovation. For different discipline, I've got different people and role models. Who is your role model?
I have two role models, just like yourself. I always take Prophet Muhammad as leader in all aspects of leadership in our life, alayhi salatu salam. whether it is personal, whether it is professional. And believe me, there are so many leadership tips that are internationally taught around the world are inspired by his leadership. I can tell you for sure because I have done extensive research on that. His Majesty is a core leader, an inspiration to the country. A lot of wisdom there in his speech, a lot of direction is there in his speech. I think we are very much blessed, and for him to encourage women in Oman to this extent and giving her all the rights, for especially starting with education and emphasizing the education, that the progress of the nation is in the building of human being, and that human being cannot progress unless you fuel them with education. So his first messages from that era till now has led this country to a great height. What can I say? I mean, I can't think of any other leader who can be better to follow than our role model, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos.
MashaAllah. Every also a successful person, normally they have someone who guides them or mentor them and so on, whatever they are in their lives. For me, for instance, someone who is my friend and a mentor who always I sit with to learn is my father. I would like to learn who is it you for yourself. It's great to know.
I'm blessed. I have a lot of people around me. I can't name one person.
MashaAllah.
My mother has a lot of influence on my being the person I am.
MashaAllah. She's listening to the radio today?
Yes.
MashaAllah. Please pass on my regards.
I hope somebody is translating to her.
Okay.
My husband has been a wonderful support partner for the past 20 years. During the journey where I took all these challenges along the way, he has stood by me. I have wonderful friends. I have school friends who have been around me from the time when I was school and believing in me all the time. So, you know, there were a lot of inspiration around. And then I was lucky, and I don't want this interview to finish without telling where I got the first leadership indication. I worked with a director called Mr. Nasser Shebani. And he was my boss at that time. He was the first person who said to me that tomorrow you will become one leader in this higher education. And I said, really? I'm a language teacher. And for a leader to see that you are a leader when you cannot see it, I give credit to Mr. Shebani.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. May Allah bless you always at all times, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Is there anything you wish to share before end of our program today?
Really, I'm thankful to you for the invitation. I just want to say that for people who are inspiring to become leaders and females here in our country, you have a lot of opportunity. We are blessed that we are in a country that we are giving us a lot of opportunity, a lot of support from the government, a lot of support everywhere, even culturally. We are a nature, a nation that people are kind and supportive to each other. I think we are blessed. It's just for us to take the steps and to put a lot of hard work to make this work. And not taking the excuse that we are women, we cannot do it. I think, yes, it takes some time for people to acknowledge the achievement of women, but we are there. So they have to believe in themselves.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. May Allah bless you at all times. Now at Muscat College, is there an opportunity for teacher, assistant or anything? Why am I asking you this? Is I just want to see after the program, I'm going to give you my CV. Working with a leader like yourself, Sarah, just coming in the day, in the morning, seeing yourself, the positivity that you add, I will have a positivity all the time.
Thank you
so
much.
if there's an opportunity, please let us know and we will
It will
send
be
the
an honor.
CV,
It will be an honor having you.
Thank you, Dr. Yasmeen, for joining us today on Oman Radio FM 90.4 to share about the exciting and inspiring journey. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best and success in all that you do, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It has been 5 years since I started this program to promote and support people in Oman Radio FM. Similar programs have been created to interview people and will continue doing the mission, alhamdulillah. Today is my last day before Ramadan. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all the success. Ma'as salama and bye-bye.